sightseeing adventure. Today we're going to review a very important magic word. In fact, it's one of the 7 magic words, surface. Now remember surface? First we'll practice by drawing round and square columns. We'll draw several of each and then we'll create a building out of the round and square columns. Later, when we go over to the Secret City mural, we'll add a theater of columns to the moonscape. Now Zebtron and Cindy are here today. Zebtron's going to show you how to build a spaceship out of columns and their squares, and then he's going to light it up. I know you want to join the Secret City Club, and so Cindy will tell you how easy it is to become a member. Now here's what you need to follow along. You need your drawing pad, your drawing pencil, it has to be sharp, and your activity notebook so you can make notes on how to create your spaceship made out of columns. Now, you gather those materials together, and I'll be right back. So you're in a good mood today? I'm in a great mood. I always get in a really good mood when I'm going to start to draw. You're fueled up, right? We're going to blast across this piece of paper. We're going to command this piece of paper and draw 3-dimensional drawings. Now the 7 magic words are surface, size, contour, shading, density, overlapping, and foreshortening. And today we're going to talk again about surface, making the near objects lower in the paper so they look closer to you. Now let's start right here in the middle by drawing a line in direction 1. Right up in direction 1. Okay, now turn the corner, go up in direction 7. You ready? Just zoom that line off into the distance. Draw that middle line a little bit lower, the vertical line, and using surface, now look at this. The near part of this corner is lower in the paper, and it gets higher up as it moves away from your eye. Okay, slant this up into this way, in this direction, direction 7. Now we'll draw a column coming down, then we'll draw a base to this building right here. This is like the cornerstone of a building. We'll extend this middle line down, draw a light guideline, almost like a dotted line up toward direction 1. Draw another vertical line right here, and we'll draw a guideline going up in direction 7. Another vertical line right here. We're going to draw a whole row of square columns going back into the distance over here, and then a row of round columns going off into the distance over here, using surface, making the near column lower in the paper so it looks closer to you, and the round column lower in the paper so it looks closer to you too. Direction 7, direction 1. Now, see this guideline? That follows direction 1, doesn't it? See, it goes up. Well, we'll make these round columns. We'll make a vertical line coming down. Nice dark lines. Now look at this curve at the bottom. This is a good shading exercise too, trying to decide if you shade the round column the same way as you shade the square column. Now you know the answer to that, right? You have different shading on the round and different shading on the square. The square column is shaded with solid shading. Okay, see how they're getting smaller? See they're getting higher up on the paper using surface. The near corners lower. And they get higher and higher up, and they're following that guideline we drew before. See that guideline, that light line we drew? I'll even draw it darker so you can see it even better. Just column after column, curve the end right here. Now let's draw square columns going off into the distance to the left. A vertical line right here. Direction what? What direction is that? Direction 1. You can barely see this back side. Direction 7, a vertical line. And there you have a nice post or a nice square column. This almost looks like one of those Roman buildings that they had in Rome, huh? With those really big column buildings, real powerful. Vertical line here. Direction 1, direction 7, another vertical line, and just do another vertical line right here. Okay, now, put a dot below the middle. This looks like a corner of a Secret City building, doesn't it? You can add this idea to your Secret City. It really help. Your eye likes that repetition, doesn't it? It likes that design and style of a repeated pattern going on. A vertical line, and curve the bottom, and then make this go off into the distance, right off the paper. Vertical line right here. Let's make this bottom really thick. real thick stone right here. Does that look interesting enough for you? Is that intricate enough? You want to add more to it? Okay, we'll make the columns or the posts sticking up through the top of the building. That sounds fun? Okay, well, let's put this right through the top. Put a dot right here, direction 1, direction 7, and let's extend this column right up through this top, the ceiling right here, onto the roof. All along here. Okay, look at 4 shortened square right here. A guideline for the top of the 4 shortened circles. Extend this line, curve the bottom, and then a nice 4 shortened circle. You see how that column just pops right up through the top of that? Pretty interesting, huh? And then we'll extend this line. Remember, using surface a lot. This near top of the column is lower in the paper than this round column that's further in the distance. And they get smaller, of course, because of the magic word size. They're nice and foreshortened because of that magic word foreshortening. And eventually we're going to add shading here. See how they're getting smaller and smaller as they get into the distance? Even they get lighter and lighter and less distinct because of that word density. You know all those words really well, don't you? Another vertical line right there. Now, columns are really important parts of the architecture in my cities and in also lots of cities. Now, take a look at this artist's view of Manchester. Give you a few more ideas for your drawings, huh? See, all these art paintings and sculptures that you find in museums give you lots and lots of ideas, tons of ideas for your own drawings. They give me lots of ideas, too. I'm going to extend all my posts going up and continue the 4 shortened squares. See, I'm even have a guideline from this 4 shortened square to make sure I keep them all nice and foreshortened. I'm using surface a lot because the near tops of the columns are lower in the paper than the far part. Now, I'll use my shading pencil. In fact, I'll even use a color to shade. I'll use my blue here, nice and dark on the left side of each of these columns. On the left side here, the left side here, left side here. Now watch this. If I use a darker color to emphasize the darkness underneath this ledge right here, and I blend it down, isn't that an interesting effect? You can even do this with your pencil. You can make it nice and dark underneath the ledge right here and blend it down. See, it's nice and dark because it really hardly gets any sunlight underneath that ledge. Dark underneath here. And it's dark underneath here again. And then this one, of course, back here gets hazier as it goes further back into the background. And then we'll draw the round columns with a different color. We'll give the other side of these just a light blue. A quick finger tone right there, so you can just touch it with your finger and have some tone to it. And a light green for these columns. I'll use my finger to blend across. Remember, blended shading on round objects, solid shading on square objects. Because the sun can't sneak around this corner, but the sun does sneak around these round columns, so it makes it a little more interesting. It starts at one side and it blends over to the other side, the opposite side of where the sun's hitting it. Now remember, anyone can learn how to draw, right? Are you teaching your brothers and your sisters and your friends how to draw? You can teach your friends, and they can learn how to draw, and they'll teach their friends, and pretty soon everyone in the whole universe will know how to draw, right? See, drawing's fun, and everybody should know how to draw. It's really important to understand how to control that, how to conquer that piece of paper. And I hope you're showing your friends and your brother and sister how to draw. And even your mom and dad, maybe even your cat and dog, huh? No, I'm joking. Usually cats and dogs don't draw, except for here in the secret city. Blend it across, dark to light, all the way across. Even on this one back here. I'll add a tone to the whole left side here, the whole left side here, and that finishes my columned building. Draw, 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 practice your drawing 20 or 30 minutes a day. Teach everyone you know how to draw, and the important super magic word to remember today is surface. wrong, Cindy? What's wrong? Oh, well, I know everybody's in the club. Oh, yeah, Zebrans on the club, right? He did it a few times. And Minuteman did the club, too, right? I know I did the club. Oh, you haven't ever done the club, have you, Cindy? Really? You want to do the club today? All right, tell you what, you talk real slowly. I'll translate for the kids at home so they can understand what you're saying. Okay? Yeah. If you want to join the Secret City Club, all that you need to do is draw a picture of Cindy. What do you think, Cindy? Now, here's an example of what club member drew Cindy. Nice drawing, isn't it? Okay. And he's into Secret City Club, post office box 404. Commander, my idea. I got a rocket ship out of a cylinder. There are many different forms of your house. Just look. Here's the scene. And now, what I'm going to do is to add different things to it to make a fine design for a rocket ship. I am going to use as my base. It is wise to prepare yourself for things. Maybe you should cover your workspace with newspaper so you just glue anything that is very, very good. I will have mine cylinder. Then I need a basket and just with the shape for my basket. I will glue this into so adhere my true form. I like gluing. I find it easier to glue than to stick. Now, I need something for one of my rocket. Let us see. This is about the same thing. And I have done my second line of light cardboard. Black underlined so I could glue it right in front here. And let's put enough glue on so it sticks. I think that is. Now, using small slivers, I will make my jets for my rocket ship. And I think I will put them right here next to this tail. They are small. I will glue them the same that I glued other things. I will also use these small circles and I will attach those to the bottom of the ship. Same to the other side. This is what a very interesting top. I heard you do it, John? Yes, sir. Is this one of your boys on here? Yes, I haven't considered this own. Meeting? We've got a cute little dragon with the green gloves on. You can get the green ones a little bit off shape, can't you? You get the certain size view, overlapping view. Very strong. Yeah. You're having a little arms and with some square shape that come down out of the top of the roof. Nice four-foot square. Now, of course, you can take your pencil and you can draw these ideas too. A piece of paper and write on to Mural something. Take a whole side of your room with paper together. Well, I hope you're really going to town with your ideas. Don't stop at the piece of paper. Get more paper. Attach it in your building with your secret city. Drawing a whole lot of column along here. And I draw another foreshortened square. Straight down. I think I'll make this slant in just a bit. And then I'll draw those doorways along here. 10 sketches, but I know what I'm going to draw. Now I'm getting up there, like almost like a wooden draw. More columns down there. You'll make this a really interesting piece for all the moonscape people who want to go see the movies on Saturday. Come over here, little column plates. This is a place on the moon where they can buy popcorn. Bots like popcorn too, you know. All on the top. Slant this in direction 7. Direction 7. Now with my pen and darken in my columns. A nice foreshortened square at the top. Remember, a foreshortened square is just a square on its side. Shortening that object to make that near part of the square look closer to you. Now, really, once you learn these magic words, boy, you're really going to go to town with your drawing. Your drawing skill will be really, really good. Direction 7, and direction 1. All these columns all along here. Put some really teeny ones back here like they're getting small to go away from you. And now put some curved columns with some cylinder columns back here. Can't even see the right side of them because they're so tiny. Curve the other side. See how small they get. So the whole row of columns here and a row of columns here. And then a direction 1 line all the way across here. Remember the magic words. Let's see if you can recognize this magic word that Elmo's going to explain to you. Size helps your drawing more. It looks more three-dimensional. Now, did you believe me that when I told you earlier you can teach your brother, your sister how to draw, or your friend? Well, you can. If you know how to do that simple table in 30 seconds, and you understand size that Elmo just explained, or you understand surface that I'm explaining today with columns, you can teach people how to draw, and you can really spread the news that anybody can learn how to draw. Let's go in direction 7. Go in direction 7 up here, and direction 1. Now, I want to not hit the side of that, so I'm going to slant in just a bit. Just around, taper it in right here on both sides, vertical line, and then a direction line. And see, I can guideline with my pencil. I'm going to draw some really interesting doorways right here. Some really big arches. Draw one, another really big arch, and direction 1, another really big arch. You see, you add all these ideas to Secret City, and pretty soon your eye just likes to tour around to get lost in all the different buildings and forests and under the planetaries and space stations. Curve it up. Follow that line right here. And a really tiny doorway back there in the background because of density and size it gets smaller. Draw the thickness in direction 1. Curves from the top. If the doorway's on the right, thickness is on the right. If the doorway's on the left, the thickness is on the left. All the way down along here. Some dark. You can even make a little worksheet for yourself by drawing below these arches and then trying to draw the thicknesses of all the doors correctly on one side or the other, depending on what side of the building gives you arches. Some dark. I'm going to make the lights off inside because the movie started. If you go to the movie right now, you're going to get just a little bit. So you probably just wait at home until the movie starts. Can you hear me eating popcorn? I always love the popcorn. Crumpled butter on it, though. I always just eat it plain. It's more natural that way, huh? Direct one line right here. Go behind it. And get my different pen and use the same. Oh, that pen doesn't work either. I'm glad I have 3 pins. And then a vertical line. You know what? I'm not going to panic with my pen. I'm going to do it real light, then I'll use this right here. I'll go ahead and use shading pen to put the shading. Some cross shading all down the side. Do you get some more of this for your Secret City? I'll take a look at Secret City Mural. neat idea of the secret city, huh? I'm going to finish my shading here by putting cross-hatch shading all across the top of my cedar. Yeah, take my pencil and go all the way down. And now, I'll do the left side of each one of these square walls. Remember, you have to be consistent with the shading with the side that you shade on. Cross-hatching there. And cross-hatching right up here. It's even darker underneath here like that. Isn't drawing fun? It always makes me chuckle when I start to draw, when I start to shade, because it's so much fun. All your imagination, your creativity is out there, and you just lose track of time with your pencil on a piece of paper. You start developing your own secret cities and your own animals and creatures for your secret city. It's like a fantasy world, isn't it? All the way down the left side, I'll add the shading over here. And also over here. Really makes it look 3D, doesn't it, when you put this final touch of shading on here. Draw, draw, draw. Practice drawing every single day. And teach your brother and sister how to draw. See you next time.